right, folks, this is the
Carmen
podcast format for
Ciricillo.
Friday, July 19th, I believe. It's getting simpler and simpler. What I'm doing now is I was filming with a Canon EOS 70D, and I had two things, the phone and the camera, and I thought, let's simplify this. Let's try to film the podcast on the phone. I have no idea if I'm filming correctly, because sometimes when I film horizontally and then I go export it to the computer, it's upside down. And tech savvy is great. If you want to be tech savvy, it's fine. I don't want to be tech savvy. I want to be who I am, which is non-tech savvy, old school, because here's my problem. I will adopt it as a job. If I decide that I was going to be tech savvy, what I would do then is become very school orientated. I would probably be sitting in a little cubicle, reading the manuals, going over, is there manuals anymore? Probably looking at the YouTube videos, consulting with the other tech savvy people. Then I wouldn't be doing the comedy thing, right? So the comedy thing is same thing. Sitting in the little cubicles, going over the manuals, it's the same thing as, how do you learn comedy? Well, you spend time on it. You write, you deal with the comedians, the people in the business. So I would immerse myself in this tech savvy world, taking me out of the comedy savvy world. And then I would end up, you're trading time. Everything is a sacrifice. Now today we got the garage open. I'm taking a chance, right? It's a neighborhood. There's going to be some background noise, but I got a really good amount of lighting coming in that I'm going to use. It's hot in this garage, which is a problem. I've been saying this on my videos for a long time that I do need some type of air conditioning system, something better, to keep me cool in here, because I got the rag just in case I start sweating. It's earlier in the morning here in Florida, and hopefully that means it's only 89 right now instead of 95 is what I usually deal with, because it's super hot. Okay, we got a neighbor coming with their dog. See, this is the interactive pod. This is where I do the pod and the world evolves around me. I hear the blower. I see the people. But amazingly, this is such a quiet community. I'm not really qualified to be old enough to be in this secluded Florida condo lifestyle where, the people do. It is weird to watch people. I don't want to say decay because it's mean, but it is a decaying kind of thing where people that's it, man, I'm done. I'm not doing no more. Trump, last night I'm watching the Republican National Convention, and this guy's 80 something, right? Big friggin' life, full blown life, big family, big business, grandchildren, one of the biggest things you're running for in the world, leader of the free world. Some people choose that path. I'm jealous of these people. I'm jealous of these people who can really lay this shit on and take it all on and not sweat it out. I gotta have stuff to do, but like my stuff to do today was, all right, let's make sure we do our white strips, right? Right? You see how nice my teeth are looking? That was one of my goals today. It's not easy it's not. Okay, look, I had to put the white strip package on my counter. It's been on it for 3 days. So it would be in my face to tell me, hey, you got to do these white strips. That was a big accomplishment. I got the white strips on, right? I got my bubble machine going this morning, which it's every morning I run the bubble machine. It's not adding up to a lot. And I had to do a podcast, okay? I had to do a podcast, get this done. I'm driving to Fort Myers today. I got a construction school. And, we're going to start getting a little busier because I got to go back on the road. But imagine just the the idea of getting a suit for the Republican National Convention, or preparing that speech, or getting shot 5 days prior and acting as if everything is amazing, which I fucking can't believe it. If I got shot 6 days ago, my ear, right? Best case scenario for getting shot is not getting killed, first of all, right? You don't get killed. Someone nicks your ear. Thank God, right? Because who knows what this country would have turned into. It's bad now. It's bad now that this assassination attempt is not really discussed in detail, heavily, like lockdown. I can't believe it. But getting shot, say, 5-6 days ago, I would have made such a big deal out of this. The bandage, right, would have been on my ear it's still on his ear, but it would be on my ear for a long time. I'd be talking about it. I'd have jokes about it. It'd be party topics. I'd be sure that I was out in public. But by the way, if someone's shooting at me, I don't know if I would want to be out there talking about it too much because, I'm a target for some reason. But I would never let it go. And this guy's been able to continue his campaign, live his big life, talk about the future. I mean, that's balls. That is serious balls, right? Here's me with the white strip, trying to figure out, man, what am I going to put on? I got to drink coffee in the morning, right? So you can't put it on pre-coffee. And then after the coffee, sometimes I forget, my stomach hurts because I haven't eaten nothing and the caffeine's just gnawing at the insides of my stomach. So I probably should eat something, and then I do eat something, and then I got blackberry seeds in my teeth, and I got to pick those out before the white strips again. It's a lot of preparation to put white strips on for me. Way more than there should be. This leads me to believe that I have some flaws. I have some problems with, maybe I should toughen up a little bit. Don't worry about your teeth so much. Take these problems and handle it. But I put myself in a good position. See, I put myself in the position of being able to take so much effort in little things like white strips because I've worked. Let's get serious. I've worked hard, okay? Now, it's very hard convincing people that I've worked hard. I have some friends that are in town now. They're boating this week, and they want me to go. They called me yesterday. Now, I was at the dermatologist, and I had this little thing scraped off my neck. They're going to biopsy it, but I'm not concerned about it. It's not a shot to the ear. I'm not wearing a bandage. I should wear a bandage. I should be wearing a big bandage on the neck. Yeah, I'm going to do that. But anyway, that's why everybody, all my friends are like, well, how come you can't meet us to go boating, right? They came down from Iowa. They got a house on a bay. They've rented a boat for a week. Now, this was Wednesday. Today's Friday. I'm not leaving until 7 o'clock tonight. Legitimately, I could have been with them Wednesday, Thursday, and probably today. And what I told them was, look, I had my neck scraped. I had to put my white strips on. I am going to Fort Myers today, and I have to drive and set up for construction school. And then we found out we had termites in this building, so they're going to be tenting it. None of this would have stopped me if I really wanted to go boating, by the way. And I'm sorry about not looking correctly at this camera because it's a flipped iPhone. I'm not sure where the camera's at. So if my eyes wander back and forth, don't pay attention to it. If I really wanted to go boating with 63 to 65-year-old men, and I'm not 63, I'm 61, but these guys are older. One of them is about my age, my buddy Cruz. He's still older than me. But if I wanted to go boating with a bunch of guys and drinking beer all day and getting beat by the sun and fishing, this is what guys do. I know this. But it's just not, I don't want to. How do you tell guys you're not interested? I've been trying to tell my buddy for years, I'm not that interested in these things. And they've pretty much, they don't care. They force you to do it. And if I even stepped on the boat just to say, yeah, just take me around the bay, they wouldn't let me off the boat, okay? I know how these guys are. I'd be trapped on the boat. They would torment the shit out of me. They would make fun of the thing on my neck. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I get it. We're men who like to beat on each other, and I just have other things that I gotta do. And the energy level in my life is super, super low for those types of activities. They're not exactly located where I'm at, which is another problem. They're somewhere near Bradenton, which is like 40, 50 miles away. Well, not that far. It seems that far. But I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this because I have other things. I got to leave. I got construction school Saturday and Sunday. And, this is a thing that will stop me. Having things on my plate will stop me, which is crazy, right? It's crazy. Let me just look at this camera real quick and see. See, I'm looking this way. All right, it's not gonna make it. I can't tell. So I'm just gonna take a chance and look at the Batman figure and figure out that's where the camera's looking at, right? And I hope this doesn't screw you up if you're watching this. Now, no one really watches my videos as much as they listen to the podcast. I'm big in Poland, by the way, just found out. I'm a ranker. I'm ranking in Poland. I don't speak Polish. I have no idea what happens in Poland. I don't really believe that I'm ranking in Poland. It's just another one of these internet things that give you the ranks of your podcast to make you feel good, I think, so you'll sign up to get more feel-good news. What's wrong with feel-good news? I think it's actually something that, maybe that's the way to do it. You get the feel-good news. Someone tells you, even if you pay that person to tell you you look good, you sound good, you're amazing. Is there harm to that in the long run? As long as you could pay for it consistently over time. Like if you run out of money to pay for the good, feel-good news, then I could see that it might be a problem where people, all of a sudden you're 62 or 30, let's just stay with my age range, and you have no one telling you that you feel good, you look good, you smell good, all your jokes are funny. And now you're fresh out of this, I think they call them sycophants, the people that just kiss your coolie constantly. Could you imagine going into the real world where people go, you're not funny at all. You're kind of stupid, in fact. I've never really enjoyed anything that you said. Now, I don't know what this excess noise is out here, but it's probably not great for podcasting. I complained that there was a sprinkler broke. And so now we probably got a guy out there trying to fix this sprinkler, which means I'm going to have to, now I got to re-deal with what we're doing here. Do I let this go on? This noise? This is going to be a problem for us? Shit. See, it never works out. It never works out. I need a studio, soundproof. And this doesn't sound like a noise that goes away soon. It sounds like he's revving up something big, some suction powered generator that's going to destroy our podcast. All right, let's start it over somewhere else. Well, it's a good thing that this is a comedy podcast, because now we're in the walk-in closet that I basically can get peace in. This is the only place I can go. This entire place has noise. It's just a very bad choice on my part for the phase of my life that I'm in, which is now making videos, podcasting by myself, with no externals, like going through stages. I'm still walking on stages. I'm still doing gigs. I'm still doing classes. I'm still doing a lot of stuff, but I could see myself retreating like an artist. This is what this is. This is kind of the artist's retreat. It's not the walk-in closet that I dreamed of. It's not the space that I dreamed of. It's not the hillside or the mountaintop. It's not the overlooking the Adriatic. It's what I got. And, for comedy, I think it works even better that this is what I got because, I'm able to adapt this. I don't think I don't think the background is as important as the words. So that's a problem too. There's a lot of people out there that, I did a podcast the other day, it's business. It's a business podcast. I don't like it because I don't really think, first of all, I know business has to happen. I know money needs to flow. I know we need to eat and have shelter. And I like the hierarchy. I like to make money and move up. What I don't like is when people get too serious about it. I don't like when people get too serious about anything. Religion, business, politics, family, health. I don't like, because you're making a fundamental mistake. There is no such thing as the perfection of anything. And yeah, it's not, I don't think it's bad to strive for 80%, a B, 85%. But if you're trying to squeeze your life to the point where you got to get 93 out of everything, 93%, 95% score, an A plus, in everything that you do, you're annoying as hell. You're bothering me. You're bothering me because there's no time for the relaxation part, which is doing a podcast in a closet, making jokes about politics, laughing about, friggin' something that's on your neck. You've got to stop, okay? You got to stop. Just start thinking in terms of it's not that big a deal, okay? The guy that's on top of you, I said that wrong. The guy that's on, behind you, again, possibly wrong. Road rage. There's a guy on your ass. That's what I'm talking about. Let him be on your ass, Don't get crazy. I've seen too many TikTok videos now with people road raging with guns and shooting each other, and it's really sick that we're showing this shit on social media and that people are watching it. I try not to watch it, but it's hard in between the videos that I like, the videos of, sometimes I just, what do I like? I mean, see, now I'm skewed because I've been seeing a lot of nasty stuff. Like, for some reason, I'm getting a lot of videos of the king of the jungle, the lion, putting that last bite into an antelope. Is that what you call that thing? It's an antelope. It's a weird word because of cantaloupe. It's so similar. Antelope, cantaloupe. Antelope is the animal that this gigantic lion just, the last bite and the blood's dripping by the thing's eye. And you feel bad. You're like, what the fuck are they showing me that for? This algorithm thing, it knows you. It wants you. It believes this is something you, what? How? I wasn't really, I'm going to admit it. I watched a couple alligator eating dog videos because I'm in Florida, and I just never saw the alligator danger. I've been here 32 years. Never seen the alligator danger. I'm going to use this as a bit, I think. So clear as they do on TikTok. It's not a real danger in Florida, by the way. But if you're on TikTok, it's a perfect example of how the media blows up shit or how people exaggerate. There is no alligator danger. I've never been that close 1 or 2 times on a golf course, and you stay away from the thing, right? It's not like they're coming for you. It's not like the alligator, there's a meeting of alligators. They're ganging up. They're going to go to the country club this morning. They're hanging by a certain lake where, people get aggravated with their shot. It's a par 5, and they know there's every so often there's a distracted golfer that's so involved to trying to be perfect, trying to get an A+ on the fucking golf course, that the alligators just hang and go, we got one this morning. Just a weak link in the human system. We're going to go after them, and they come at you. It's not happening. There's no alligator danger unless you fucking provoke these things. So don't even start blowing this shit up. And maybe that's why, I'm getting on my social media. Maybe that's why the algorithm believes now that I need to see animal murder all the time. These friggin' lions going after each other. Or not each other, the lions that are going after the antelopes. I don't need to see this. I'm sorry, my brain short-circuited for a second because I still continue to not understand how this camera works. And that thought creeped into my brain as I'm trying to speak to you. Yeah, there's no alligator danger in Florida. It's probably like this shark thing, right? Scaring everybody in the water. What's your chances of seeing it's not even a great white. It's not Jaws. It's some other shark. It's not the hammerhead. I'm afraid it's the bottlenose. No, it's a dolphin. It's some type of shark that seems to want to come at you. Or is it because it's just the wrong time of year to be in that spot? Is there bait fish all over the place? Are the orcas pushing the sharks toward the shore? I mean, how much of this can we take? I can't deal with it. I'm trying to go to the beach and float and just relax. And the whole time I'm worried about my toes and then my ankles and then my whole leg. I'm going, what if this thing gets too close? What if it bites me? I'm in 3 inches of water. I can't stop thinking about this because now the algorithm is showing me. The algorithm is scary. See, it's not like Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween anymore, where you knew she stabbed Michael Myers in the friggin' whatever, the head, the neck, and he went down. And then she turns her back to the scary pale-faced clown or whatever the hell he was trying to impersonate with the knife. And then he just pops up, right? Eyes wide in that friggin' mask. And I'm 15, 14, hoping that there's another scene of Jamie Lee's tits. But it's another fucking murder scene. And just training us to fear this shit. So I'm actually okay in the ocean knowing that there's sharks and that there's videos of sharks chewing on people because I'm old. I gotta go. I'm gonna go somehow, right? If the shark takes me, then and I hope it doesn't happen. I'm not saying I'm praying for this to happen. It's kind of like this, the ear, getting shot in the ear. I'm going to make a story out of this. It's going to be for my advantage. I'm going to use this horrible event to my advantage. And that brings up my father getting shot. Yeah. See, I use the horrible story of my father getting basically shot and killed when I was 14. I've used that story multiple times in an unemotional way. I'm detached from the emotional aspect of it anymore. It's been a good 50 years almost since this thing has happened. And you got to use the negativity, the nastiness, the pain, the horror, the tragedy for some other use in your life because it doesn't go away. It's going to be in your brain. So how do we put it in a blender of the brain and make it less impactful? Just destroy it and then rebuild it as something else like comedy. Right? These sharks in the water. It's funny. It's funny to watch sharks in the water. Right? No, it's not. See, it's hard to make that funny, but there's a way. There's a way to do that. So I think the algorithm is our new, it's the director that made all these scary movies. It's not Spielberg's not a scary guy. It's the other guy that I don't think is that great at making movies. Everyone loves his book. It's another Stephen, right? Stephen King, right? I never thought his movies were scary. In fact, I thought they were kind of stupid. And I'm a sci-fi guy. I'm a fantasy guy. I can stretch my brain. But I think he made a movie called The Langoliers or something that I was like, this is a dumb movie. And by the way, it's a lot of nothing. It never gets to any certain point. Exorcist got to a point. She fucking floated in the air and spewed vomit all over the priest. Now, I can't disconnect Richard Pryor as being the priest because SNL did such a great job of turning that tragic, horrific movie that I saw when I was about 14, 15 years old into comedy. There's a great example of a magnificent comedian ripping apart this movie so I can now laugh at it. If I can't laugh at it, then I'm afraid of it. I don't want to fear nothing. I want to laugh at it. I'll give you a good example of this before we get back into this. Remind me to talk about this Stephen King as the algorithm. He's not doing a good job. Or I'm sorry, Stephen King. Stephen King is definitely not as scary as the algorithm, right? And I've already lost my thought on what I was going to previously say before I got interrupted. I'm not rewinding the camera. This is who I am. I forget. So the algorithm is really good at making you fearful because you're feeding it. If you told somebody what you were afraid of, right, whatever attracts you. So you start watching these alligator videos. You start watching these lion videos, and it's not, you're not fearful because you're watching it on a screen, sitting on your bed, eating chips and drinking Diet Coke. So it seems like it's not fearful. But what it's doing is implanting, look at this fucking lion who just looked like it was laying there for a second, and then this jackal or something decided to bark at it or walk by it or do nothing, and thought it could escape. It's not going to escape. You know this is going to happen. You know the lion's about to get up, grab onto this thing, latch onto its neck, give that bite, and watch the blood start flowing, right? So you watch this, and then you watch it again, and you watch it again. This bad news, just like the media, bad news. It just fills your head with something that's very dramatic and something very deep, emotional, something that's going back to the days that you watched the movie, The Exorcist, and it brings up those feelings. But now you're in a safe environment. It's like watching a movie. It's like watching a movie at a theater. Remember where it wasn't so dangerous because it's just a theater. You're eating popcorn. You're drinking your Diet Coke or whatever. Back then it wasn't diet. And you're sitting next to your girlfriend and everything's cool. And you come out and the lights are on and everybody's laughing and everyone's having a good time. Even if the movie was scary. In fact, if you got so scared in the movie and you shuddered and you made an audible sound, after that the whole theater would laugh together. See, we had each other. We had each other in the movie theater to say, it's just a movie, everybody. Calm down. And then we would all laugh because it's a human reaction that happened that we all shared together. And then we were able to laugh at that and feel some type of safety. Now you're by yourself with the screen alone, like I am in a closet, and you're watching something like an alligator chew on a dog or a lion, or even worse, road rage, where a guy pulls a gun and another guy shoots him. And it's like, where does it end as far as the violence on these screens? But also, what is it doing to you as an individual, your psyche, by yourself, with no one to laugh at it, no crowd to comfort you, no other humans to say it's going to be okay. Maybe we shouldn't watch this anymore. That's why ratings exist. That's why they brought out these people who said, this movie's an R. You shouldn't probably bring a kid to this movie, right? This movie's PG. A parent, if you're going to bring a kid, a parent should be with you. Those things made sense. They made sense. And everyone's like, oh, I want everything for me now. I can make all the decisions at 12. I can decide at 10, at 8, if I'm going to change my gender in this country. I don't even know what the age is, 6, whatever it is. I know they're filling us with those thoughts also. The algorithm is also telling us these things, to watch this type of news, whatever bothers you. So you're feeding this evil, your fears, your desires, and it's throwing it back at you to make you watch it more often, and then you're almost dependent on this thing. I don't know if anyone's done a big study on this. I guess someone who's not making a podcast in a walk-in closet with his wife's clothes all around him probably knows more than I do. But I think this makes a lot of sense to me. This makes a lot of sense to me why everyone's so fucking fearful right now and scared and unsure. It's because we don't have the crowd. We don't have the crowd. We don't have the interaction, the social, where you can look around and feel good because not everybody's freaking out. In a crowd of 300 people at a movie theater, you probably had 6 to 10 to 20, I don't know, a good chunk of people, but not too big. It's not a good chunk then. A small percentage of people probably were terrified out of their fucking minds. But they felt better because the crowd was there to give them the group hug and say, it's just a movie, bro. It's just a movie. Right? Finish your popcorn. We're going to walk out of here. The lights are going to be on. We're all going to go bowling after this, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to talk about it. And they didn't ram it down your throat too much, right? The movie ended at a certain point. 2 hours of this was enough, and maybe 10 scenes that were extremely disturbing was enough. I'm going to say that there are 10 to 15 scenes in a 2-hour movie that were fairly disturbing. Now, I think you could see 10 to 15 disturbing scenes within 10 to 15 seconds, just flipping through your phone very quickly. Let's say in a minute, could I watch, every 10 seconds I could watch It'd be 6 disturbing scenes a minute, and people are on their phones, and you can see when there's nothing going on. They're on an airplane, they're waiting in the terminal, they're sitting at the doctor's office, they're by themselves eating dinner, or even with people now, they're flipping through their phones for hours. So how many disturbing things, how many horrible things did you just see in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? And some people are on their phone for much more than that. It's been so bad that the phone's actually regulating you and telling you your screen time is ridiculous. Get off the phone, right? So whether or not you think you have a control of what's happening right now, you don't. I don't think you do. I don't think you do. And that's where all these new tools are coming in to tell you, you've been on your phone too long. It's a new app, and it's going to help you. Put your phone, people are talking like I am. Put your phone in the bathroom, wait in a different room so you don't see it when you're sleeping or it's not accessible to you. Because we have something out there that might not be so good for us. This Stephen King algorithm director. And Stephen wasn't that bad. Now Stephen's like a child compared to this really bad thing. Yeah. Even if it's feeding you good stuff. Imagine if someone just kept telling you how great you were. I think we said this in the first part of this podcast, right? Someone who's constantly, if you could pay for someone to tell you how pretty you are, how funny you are, how great you are, if you can afford that your entire life, if you never left that, and I'm sure there's that, right, that has existed. I don't know that feeling. It's for kings and queens and for people with silver spoons that can be fed that kind. They still got to go into the real world, right? They still got to encounter the real world. That's where you see, that's where the algorithm will feed you. Look at Mr. White Privilege. Look at Miss Inappropriate. Look at who thinks they're something, telling the police to go F themselves. Look who, now the algorithm's feeding you that kind of stuff because now you're interested in watching the privileged and the elite get beat down by some commoner. All right. So that does exist. It does exist. But the algorithm's doing it to you. The algorithm is feeding you what you like, what you want to see, what you think is funny, what you think is pretty, what you think is your thoughts. You talk about echo chamber, which I'm not exactly sure of the meaning. I've heard it many times. I believe it's when someone repeats something that you said back to you and does it because they want something from you, whether it's keeping their job or money or a position, whatever it is. The algorithm is the echo chamber. The algorithm keeps saying it back to you. And I say algorithm as if I know what the fucking algorithm is. Is it code? It's a code that says if Carmen clicks on gator video eating dog, then, and then has an arrow, right, and some other code symbols, then show, right? It's kind of like Netflix. I had a bit about this, how Netflix, I was saying that they were punishing me, right? I'm watching Hoarders. And Hoarders is a show that's the same show over and over and over. People hoarding shit, you can't believe it when you watch the first episode, all this shit in some guy's house, you're like, oh, how does he go to the bathroom? Then they show you the bathroom, like, oh my God, right? It's just horrific. Well, you're watching it, you can shut it off at any moment, but you want to see the bedroom now, and then the bathtub, and then you want to hear the relatives, how disgusted they are with their mom or their dad, and it's like, you're watching this, bro. You could turn this off right now, but you don't. And then you watch episode 32. Now, you've been sitting there for 32 fucking episodes, binge watching on a show that really is not showcasing the glories of humanity. Why are you watching that? Right? Why? And where'd you get the time? Or do you have the time? Or is it actually eating into the time that you're supposed to be doing something? Working? Helping people who need help? Just maybe sweeping your own floor around you? Are you becoming a hoarder? And so what Netflix will do to you, the next time you turn on the TV, is, I was saying they were punishing you. Because you watched Hoarders, and it's really what it was the suggestion, right? Netflix would say, Suggested for you, since you're such a freaking hoarder watcher, since you love this kind of bullshit. How about 600-pound life? Does that get you at all? Does that get your blood going at all? How about watching people that are so overweight they can't get out of bed, that continually feed themselves Burger King, even knowing they're past the point that they should ever eat it? Why don't you watch some of that? Because you watch hoarders, why don't you watch a little 600-pound life? Huh? How many episodes can you watch in a row? How much binging? It's feeding you what you want, and you're allowing it. Like I said, why don't you turn it off? Why don't you walk away? How much strength do you think people have now today? In the old days, the strength was, can I get up today and go to work? Can I put my clothes on, get up, go to work, and deal with the boss? That still exists. Then you also have to deal with, can I get off the couch? Pull myself away from the video games or the Netflix or the TikTok or whatever is consuming you. How? You think we're that strong? We're not. We're not. I've seen this now. I after all these years, it takes a long time. I hate to say how long it's taken me. I'm scratching my face for effect. How long it's taken for me to understand things. And that shows me that we're weak. There's so many weak spots that smarter people can exploit. So be very careful, and you have to be diligent. I spend a lot of time trying to watch, and the algorithm's feeding me videos of therapists, videos of thinkers, videos of scientists. On top of the lion chewing on the antelope, I'm watching, some of the smart people talk. Some of the, I think I've learned from some very influential people that were in my life. The proximity of fame, the proximity of people that were credible in my eyes. And, that's another discussion. But what I'm saying is I learned from people that were in front of me. And the only reason that I learned from them is because I was in need. I needed to know how to get out of poverty, I told you my father was gone. And what does an older man say when you don't have an older man to tell you things and you're young? So my Uncle Frank, who I don't think ever read a motivational book in his life. And that kind of hit me. Why do I need to read motivation? Why do I need to read, I'm reading Elon Musk right now. I read Tom Hopkins. I've read Bruce Williams. I've read Conrad Hilton. I've read Trump's books. I've read Lee Iacocca. I continually, and there's a point where you go, stop reading. You were given the information, the instructions on what to do. They told you now. There's no more reading. Now reading, instead of it helping you, it's become another way to procrastinate. It's another way to sit on a couch. It's another way to watch crocodile videos. Is it crocodile or alligator? Videos chewing on antelopes. See? So strength, the discipline. You heard it. Someone told you about it. Now implement it. Right? I'm going to the gym. You see I got my gym clothes on. It's not easy. Every day. The implementation of this podcast, not easy. Look, I took months off of this thing. And I like doing it. And I think it's good for me. And I think I have something interesting to say. It wasn't enough to pull me away from what was I doing with the time instead of doing this. I'm going to be honest. I spent a lot of time watching TikTok. I spent a lot of time on social. I spent a lot of time in contemplation mode of like my last couple of podcasts talking about jealous, envious, what other people have done. I spent a lot of time overthinking. So you have hope. You have hope because I'm successful. I have everything, and I'm successful. I've done everything, and made it, and I don't have any shred of perfection. I don't have any shred of, consistency that's near the greatest people of our generations. My stuff has always been, it's going to take you a long time to accomplish. But if you stick to it, your teeth are going to actually get white. Yeah, you might not be doing the white strips consistently every day like you're supposed to, like the directions say. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. if you fuck up, don't put on 2 white strips the next day. I think that's what they tell you when you miss your pill for women, right? If you miss the pill, you got to take 2 pills the next day. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Don't try to put 2 white strips on your teeth. It's not the same thing, right? But you're going to be effective if you continue to do what you're supposed to do, even if you do it in a crooked path. Okay, there's no freaking way you're going to hit the straight path. I've never hit the straight path. Sometimes I'm on that straight path, and it makes me, it bothers me. I don't know if I should be on the straight path, right? I'm perfectly heading toward exactly what I want, and it's frightening. Whoa, how did I get on this path so perfectly? How am I nailing this exactly? My brain will interrupt it and question it before I get to the destination on the path. So a straight path, most likely for me, is not possible. A straight path would be never thinking about actually getting to the destination while I'm on the path. I would just go for it. It would be very nice, very simple. But that's not the way it works for everybody. And if it doesn't work that way for you, who cares? As long as you get that accomplished, what you want to accomplish. So hopefully after this, I'll listen to what I just said. I'm not going to rewatch the pod. I rewatch it a little bit just to make sure I didn't say anything stupid, which I don't think I did this time. But I am hearing my voice as I'm speaking, so I'll probably heed some of the words I just said. And this is why the pod's good for me too. I'll probably cut back a little bit, at least in the immediate future after this podcast, on the TikToks and the social, and get to the gym right now and accomplish some things and get to Fort Myers. And maybe I'll go see my friends on that boat on Monday because they're going to be here till Wednesday. So it's plenty of time to still go see them. See, that's another thing. Don't give me too much time to accomplish something. The longer time frame I have, the longer actually it's going to take me to do. Like if you told me I got to do something by 3 o'clock today, I got it. I'm on it. See, that's probably a good employee type person where they have somebody forcing them to do something at a certain time frame. When you're self-employed, very difficult for me to go, you're going to do this at 3, and then at 2:30, I'm like, I just want to have coffee. I'm going to sit and watch Hoarders, have some coffee, maybe look at my phone while Hoarders is on in the background, flip through 2 hours of TikTok, and skip the gym. Don't listen to yourself if that's what's going on. Avoid that. As soon as you hear that kind of thought pattern happening, you got to say, dude, no. You need to accomplish some shit, and then you can relax. Give yourself the relaxation, but after you accomplish, okay? All right, so I really did enjoy doing this. Again, I don't know. Don't know why. And people are listening to it. Again, don't know why, but they are. So I'm going to continue to do it. All right, see you later.